Yay! More Torneko! So where exactly are we since last episode? Well, we have since completed the magic dungeon with all the items found. I wasn't going to film all 7 tries going in and getting all the stuff, so let's check inventory. We have golden bread, which was the second item to get after the Loto sword. We have a golden herb, which is what gold slimes drop when you kill them. They start appearing, I think, floor 97. And they're also in the Ordeal mansion, I think, floor 10 and up. I'm not sure about that. We have the golden pot, which I didn't show you me getting, but it was floor 50. I also found a no-break pot, and I'm only missing 2 pots now to have 1 of every pot, and that's the monster pot and the liar pot, which are only available in the more magical dungeon. Spellbooks I've already got, as you know. We got those in the mage dungeon a long time ago. The scrap scroll is what you get after you've collected all the items on a certain floor that has a golden item in it. So you can get it on floor 50 and 97, or 98, sorry. So, I found a revive scroll in the more magic dungeon. We'll get into the more magic dungeon stuff in a minute. But golden arrows, which were the item I was trying to get after the golden pot in the same location, floor 50. I think it's floor 50. Yeah, because 60. Is it 450? No, floor 50 is Whirlwind. Floor 60, 70, floor 80. Floor 80 for the golden pot and golden arrows, I think. Because No. It's floor 60. Because 70 and 80 are the skill X sword and skill X shield. So the golden arrows is with the golden pot in 60. And I think that's all the golden stuff I have. Now, we have the Loto sword. Yes, I do not have my abacus anymore. I have a regular abacus now. I found another abacus in the dungeon. Used my happy abacus first on the Metal King sword. You get the Metal King sword and the Metal King shield, which I have here. You get those 2 from the king. After you beat the magic dungeon and banish Dark Evil Chest, the king, if you visit him, he says, "I've started to collect tiny medals. Do you have any?" The first tiny medal I found was in the magic dungeon floor like 98 or 99. I was really deep in. And you don't want to give them your medals right away. You want to clone them with the clone pot. So you want your 1.5 million to get the clone pot, then you clone your medals and you get the stuff. Metal King sword comes first, and then shield. It's more powerful than the ogre shield that I was using. So I melded that. I duplicated the ogre shield, and used both on a magic shield and a Metal King shield. The Metal King shield has higher defense. It's 40, and the magic shield isn't. Base defense, but the magic shield learns skills. The point of the magic shield is to learn fighter skills. Now, the Loto shield is an upgrade from the magic shield. It also learns all the skills in the game. So once you have Loto shield, there's no need for the magic shield. But I think I'll take the Metal King shield with me when I go to Ordeal instead of magic. I might miss out on some skills that way, but the Metal King is just higher defense. The Loto sword, as we know, we found on floor 98, and it's an upgrade to the magic sword. And I use the magic sword. As you can see, it has that star 10. So no new skills had been found for the sword or have been used. There are 20 altogether. I think 20. I'm not sure. But I got a Loto sword plus 3, as you can see up here. I cloned it. I used that as the base and used my melding pot, because you don't want to use the melding services when you have a clone pot and a melding pot, prayer scrolls and vacuum scrolls. You just don't want to do it. His melding services cost a fortune, although money's not an issue anyway. So for logistic purposes, you might just want to do that. Anyway, so the magic sword, the purpose of it, as we know, is just to learn fighter skills. That's why it's at the bottom of the magic dungeon, or the mage dungeon. So you get it, you learn fighter skills. So I duplicated the abacus and used the magic as base after duplicating magic and made the magic. And I used the magic. I kept the magic 77 for fighter skills, but I cloned that and then used the Metal King sword, which I no longer have, as base. I have this Metal King, but I cloned that, used that as base, and then used my cloned magic shield magic sword. And then when I got the Loto Sword, I just used the Loto Sword as base, and then the Metal King. So that's I never actually used the Metal King in combat ever. It's just an upgrade that I never bothered to worry about because I was still using magic for skills. Got Loto, so now it's just an upgrade. I will probably I most of the time as the fighter, as the warrior class, take the Loto and the magic. I don't bother taking Metal King for obvious reasons, but we're gonna take that stuff with us. Withdrawal. We're gonna take not the magic sword because Loto's better, and then we're gonna take the Metal King. Doesn't learn as many skills, but now let's go over the items I found in the more magical dungeon, which you can get to by opening the Joy Chest after you've beaten Dark Evil. Once that music starts playing, you go into the more magical dungeon, which you won't be able to do with items, by the way. You have to go in naked. So if you try to go in with the more magical dungeon, you may not take items into this dungeon. So that magic dungeon becomes more magical dungeon. So I can leave it open if I want, but I probably will close it because, well, actually, there's no reason for me ever to go back into the magical dungeon because I have every golden item from the magical dungeon. So the only thing left to do is I've already gotten the bottom of the well, so it's the Ordeal Mansion and the more magical dungeon to get the last few golden items, which are really hard to get. The only way to really do it is with the fighter. I can get the furthest so far with the merchant, but the fighter's skill set is what you really need to get the golden items because you need the forge skill and the trap bus skill. I mean, otherwise you're not going to find the items, have the rooms, have the way you want it. The mage might have a chance. You can't disperse into the more magical dungeon. You can disperse to floor 1, which you'll enter anyway just by walking in, so there's no point. Anyway, so I have these two items. Now, in the Ordeal Mansion, you can take with you a lot of stuff. I think you can take up to 20 items. I think you can max your inventory out. So why don't I go over what I got in the more magical dungeon so far. The record I have so far is floor 41. So let's check that out really quick before we go to the Ordeal Mansion. So let's check inventory. There's the golden bread. There's the golden herb. And there's an herb, poison herb. I found the poison herb in the more magical dungeon. It's just something to... There's also a bogus herb. I haven't found it yet. I don't have the 2 pots, but the scrap scroll is not in the more magical dungeon. Well, it technically is, but revive I found. I haven't read it yet. I don't really know what it does because you can't revive yourself. The world leaf does that. So do you kill a monster and then cast that spell and it pops back into existence? I'm not sure. So glue down, which is a troll scroll. You read it and you can't pick up any items. Now I found a vacuum scroll, which are only in the more magical dungeon. The banker gives you one with 1.5 million. You read it with the clone pot, and then you can then write blank scrolls as vacuum, which you do all the time. Then you clone those. But I found a vacuum scroll in the more magical dungeon and cloned that. So now I have real vacuum scrolls, which makes me happy. But I always have 2 blank. The monster scroll, 427 of the more magical dungeon. I haven't read it yet, so it's not in my list of read scrolls. But once you read it, you can then write it, and so I have to clone it first, which is magical dungeon 4-1 with the pot and get out. The monster scroll, you read it, it just summons monsters. I mean, I don't really... It's a troll scroll, but it's a special scroll, so I really don't understand the point of it. The trap scroll is more magical dungeon as well. You read it, traps just spring up everywhere on the level. Mouth seal is a troll scroll. You read it, and it has the same effect as the Mage Mamanjig does to you by sealing your mouth. It's troll. There's a lot of troll stuff in that dungeon. Monster Wake is a troll relic. I don't know if you can find that in the magical dungeon. You probably can, so I don't know if it's exclusive. Thief Ring I found in the more magical dungeon. Haven't found that anywhere else. What that does is you won't wake monsters as you walk by them. An item drop makes you drop an item occasionally without warning. It's a troll ring. It's not good. And it's in the more magical dungeon. They troll you with a lot of shit there. Golden arrows, we know. Magic arrows. Now, I found those in the more magical dungeon in shops. I don't know if you can pick those up in shops in the regular magical dungeon. I think you can, so I don't think they're exclusive. But poison arrows I've only found so far in the more magical dungeon. So there you go. Earner is a magical dungeon item. Steals the target monster's HP and restores your run. It's like the heal wand, only you don't have to use it against a crystal. You can just sap. It's like the sap spell, or I mean, it's like the raw magic spell. I don't know how effective it is. Druid, Mystifier, Itemizer, the Loser Scroll gives half of your HP to target monster. It's the exact polar opposite of the Earner Scroll. It's a troll wand. Invisible is something I found. Makes a monster invisible. It is a troll wand, but you need it to learn the warrior skill. Warriors can't wave wands, but they can hurl them for one effect. So I cloned that. I threw it at a monster, it became invisible. Then I cloned the monster a few times, so it's invisible. I ate an eye drop herb so I could see invisible, but they're still invisible. Get it? And then I killed them, and after 3 deaths, it learned me the invisibility skill, which makes a monster invisible in front of you. I don't know the purpose of that. I still don't have the Vanish ability, which they say you get by killing shadows or shadowers, and I haven't got it yet. While you can see them, you know, which means you have to eat eye drops and then clone them all the time. Speed up wand, more magical dungeon. Doubles a monster speed. It's a troll wand. And that's it. Because all the shields, nothing's unique that we haven't looked at before. I also think there's an Executor Axe as well as the Eliminator Axe, which is the same thing. I want it for completionist. Anyway, that's it. That's the more magical dungeon items I have occurred so far. So the Ordeal Mansion. I'm not going to be a warrior for that. I'm going to be a merchant, so I will forego abilities because I want to be able to use all items. The goal was to get to floor 30. To get the Loto Shield. I don't remember what's after you grab the Loto Shield. I think it's one of the golden items. I think it's a golden shield after you get the Loto Shield, which, as you'd expect, drops a shield every floor. It's actually useful to take into the magic dungeon with the fighter, if you're looking for shields in general. It might even drop a magic shield, who knows? I don't know for sure, because the only place I ever found magic shields were the magic dungeon shops and the fire dungeon. Anyway, when you play this game and go to the Ordeal Mansion, you want to save your game. I have save states, so I can do that. But I'm going to do a save state right now. But what you want to do is ensure that you save your game before you go in, because you do not want to lose your items here. Now, I'm not sure what else I should bring. This should get me through okay. I could bring the golden pot for preserve pots and things, or the golden herb, or the golden bread to ensure I don't starve. There is no food in the Ordeal Mansion, so the golden bread might be ideal. In fact, I think I'll go back and get it. You don't want to eat the golden bread, obviously. You just want to drop big bread every floor. They do recommend, some of the facts I've read recommend going in as a warrior for bread drop because there's no bread in that mansion. But I'll take the golden bread with me, and I'll save and continue. Just because this is what you would do. There's a trick to doing the Ordeal Mansion with the mage. Go in, cast Sacrifice. If it works, you level up. Go down as deep as you can by casting Sacrifice, and as soon as you fall, have Remy disperse you down to that floor, and then continue on by doing Sacrifice. If you die, you just do it again, and since money's not really an issue after a few tries and failing, you just go back to the well and get 90,000 again. It's on floor 10, so it's not really that big a deal. Okay, this is what I'm gonna go in with. The monsters here are incredibly strong. Will you go anyway? Yes. You may lose all your items, including strengthened equipment. I'm fine. I have save states, and I saved the game. As a matter of fact, I didn't re-establish my save state, but that's okay. Here is the Loto Sword and the Metal King Shield. Oh yeah, all the enemies are fake priests until you kill them. It's weird. Because you can't identify them until you kill them. Yeah, see? I don't know the purpose behind that. Maybe because the whole point of him was, that the kid read the monster scroll, but he said he scribbled stuff on a blank scroll. So that means the kid wrote the monster scroll. And you can't do that without reading it in the game. So the game law is basically saying that the kid cheated. He hacked. That's all I can think of. Alright. I have the whirlwind ability, so I can attack around corners, which is really nice. You will level up fairly quick. You only get a few wands here. This monster... Oh, it's the Identify Staff. Actually, I don't have an Identifier Staff, so I think you can only find them here in this mansion. So it might be wise to, well, go around and collect items really, for a while. Over time, though, you're going to fill up on inventory, and, you know... So, you get a bread, so... aromatic bread. Whoa, it was bread. Yeah, this is the only place in the game other than the more... I don't even know if the more magical dungeon has unidentified bread. There's moldy bread, which will be unidentified, but the golden bread won't drop moldy bread. So, let's go back to that area that trolled me with a warp trap. I don't know if I should film all levels of the Ordeal Mansion, because it does get difficult, especially with red dragons. Red dragons are trolls because blue dragons can attack you from anywhere in the room, and their fire goes through enemies to hit you only, so it clips through enemies. The red dragon is similar. Oh, great. Only difference is that the red dragon can attack you from anywhere on the board, and his attacks clip through walls. Yeah, that becomes really difficult to manage. So when the red dragon spawns on a floor, you have to be... first off, you have to have half fire damage, which I have on my shield, and secondly, you have to find this guy really quick and try and kill him. You only have a vague idea of where he is. Now you can bring in jewels and accessories to this to make it easier. The enchanter, it was disabled. Okay. Like, you'll never need the identifier staff anywhere but this mansion. I guess technically, if you were misled, the identifier staff would help you identify monsters, but its usefulness is so specific that it might as well be a troll staff for all intents and purposes. For all intents and purposes, sorry. Yeah. It might as well be just a staff you'll never need. Enchanters drop the enchant staff, obviously. Empress is obviously the enchant staff. Unless they change the drops for the Ordeal Mansion, so you drop something else, but... We're all right on the spikes. Thanks, game. I'm getting all this bread, so I might as well just eat it. Since I'm not going to starve, I might as well eat the big one, too, to free up an inventory slot. I don't have the passage ring. That probably would have been a smart investment. Ah, the Executor. Drop your weapon! God damn it, I want the Executor X. I only have the Eliminator. I want the Executor. It does the same thing, though. Increased crit chance. And that's it. There's no real loot to find other than on floor 30. The Ordeal Mansion goes to floor 50. And you do get an adventure log icon for getting down to 50 for getting the warp, like beating the mansion. But that's all you get. You don't get any special reward crunch or anything of that nature. Well, you could say your reward is the shield, Lotus Shield, and Golden Shield. But that's on 430. Once you get down that far, you might as well just get out. You know what I didn't bring in this mansion? Is an outside scroll. Which means I'm probably gonna die in here. See, the fighter can use the outside skill. That's what makes him more valuable, and the mage can cast outside. After I get 2 breads or 3 breads, I'll eat them all and improve my belly. Get in my belly! I'm a fat bastard. Could not help but dance. Come on. Okay. Oh, it's a bomb crack. Oh, and I killed it in one. Yay! This also a bomb crack? A hidden rock, but it wasn't a problem. This means you didn't trip from it. If you had the no trip staff, it would say, but a staff prevented tripping. I'm gonna just find out what that enemy is. It just makes me feel better. Do not come in the Ordeal Mansion with ice on your sword. Matter of fact, never meld ice to your sword to begin with. The ice sword on floor 30 of the Magic Dungeon, never use it. These blizzards appear randomly after floor X, which I can't remember what it is in the Magical Dungeon, and they never go away. They will randomly spawn, and those guys too, Icemen. And then you'll always do 1 damage to them. They'll become the bane of your existence. So never do it. It's crappy, to say the least. I don't even need this gold. Like, bags of money are just to troll bait me. Alright, looks like we've explored this floor. The only reason I'm exploring the floors in their entirety is so I can level up a bit. Because you'll want to do that. You'll want to get as many levels as possible in this mansion, because the monster difficulty escalates pretty quick. Misled. I wonder if you're misled, if that'll work. Let's see, Empress. Oh, the Empress has the trade spot staff, which I don't need. I don't know the usefulness of that, because it doesn't go through walls. Torneko is no longer misled. Empress, Pearl. Oh, that was actually the Enchanter staff. My bad. Yeah. Traps can make your fighters lose their skills. Oh, dragon. So... stone. Okay, that was the... I already have an Enchanter staff, so I'm not worried about losing that one. And I do have Whirlwind on my sword, so I'll hit angles, which is nice. What was stone again? I think that was the Identifier staff. Yeah, I only need 1. And I just don't know... I don't know which one would have the most charges. It doesn't really make a difference, actually. Because it's not like I keep any more than 1 anyway. Let's see, your storeroom has 25 pages of stuff, and each page holds 10 items, so I guess it's 250. Anyway. So what are the items that are unique to certain dungeons? Magic Sword to Mage Dungeon, Life Ring to Fighter Dungeon. The Life Ring is interesting because what it does is increases your current and your max HP by 50. Which I would presume means that if you have really low hit points, what you can do... you troll. I can't move. Well, it took long enough. Which means what you can do is equip it to get that... If you're low on health, equip it to get the 50. You also get the plus 50 max. De-equip it, and then equip it again. Every turn you should be getting 50 hit points back. Because you're constantly putting it back on. And I think that was the point of it. So even though the heal ring, which restores 1 hit point per turn as you walk, that's very useful. Or I'm sorry, it's 10 hit points per turn, I think. Yeah, 10 hit points per turn. For the mage, that's incredibly awesome. Because then you can spam defeat. You can map defeat to your attack skill, which is your L2 button, and spam it. Because it costs 80 health, but in 8 turns you'll get it back. But the life ring, though, with the 50 hit points, equip it, de-equip it, equip it. That's 3 turns, and you'll get 100 back. So instead of 30, you'll get 100. So it's probably it takes more effort, though, and that turns a lot of people off. Ah, you Bazuzu. When you seal their abilities with the shield and seal sword, what that does is it prevents them from... If a monster can move 2 tiles per turn, he can only move 1 tile per turn. If he can attack twice per turn, he goes back to only attacking once. It also prevents them from doing things like their specials, disarming you, cursing you, even casting spells it prevents. Which is why you'll want Skill X and Seal as well. The Seal Sword and Shield combo is an attack that you do to seal enemy attacks. The Skill X Shield prevents enemy skills from affecting you, bar dancing. You can always get danced, which pisses me right off. I figured he was going to revive, because undead leave corpses. I never knew in the Dragon Quest world, up until this game, mind you, I never knew that berserkers were undead. It just never struck my mind that they would be undead. Okay, this is the floor. I should probably... I want to level up. This is why I'm exploring. Otherwise I would just spam going down to 430 because I'll need the hit points to survive Mega Magic from Gold Slime so they can just spam it if they want. They can only use it when they're in the same room with you. Okay, I'm gonna actually start hurling these stone wands because they become useless. Like, you only need one, you know, just for the sake of, for the completionist in you, and that's it. And then as far as the bread's concerned, you know, you can starve in this mansion, and I'm not going to anymore. Yum! There we go. I do not want to eat the golden bread. It took me forever to get it. Okay. It does, because you gotta go to 498 again to get it. It's just annoying as shit. Alright. The fluff beast. There was a girl, one of the NPCs in town, she says, aren't pillow rats, which are the reskinned, those fluff beasts are the reskinned pillow rats. They're just a different color and more powerful. Aren't pillow rats the cutest monster? If you say yes, she goes, oh, I agree. You think I could make a pillow rat plushie if I use an itemizer staff on them? Itemizer turns an enemy into a random item. It's actually quite interesting item if you... Ooh, monster summons. Well, I'll just do a roundabout and probably kill most of them in one hit. This is why the Loto Sword is great with its base attack power of 99. But I don't think plushies exist. Like, I think that's just a red herring in the game. If you use an itemizer staff on a pillow rat, it's not going to make a pillow rat plushie. It's not a hidden log entry. There are people who have unlocked all of the traveler's logs, and nowhere in it does it say made a pillow rat plushie. So there's one entry though for being killed by every sort of trap, which means you got to usually be under 5 health and trigger one. It's not impossible, especially if you have a staff that can damage you, like a dual X staff or something. I think there might be, like, poison herbs will take away health from you, so you could clone a poison herb and bring, you know, and then, but you don't, yeah, you clone the poison herb first, then just bring that in, because when you die, of course, you lose all your items, and you don't want to do that. So you want to go for the death achievement log when you're not carrying anything, obviously. He drops staff uses. But, you know, Remy charges a fortune to increase staff uses. Crunch. And it's outrageous. I mean, it's like 15,000 to give you like 3 staff uses. It just keeps going up too. It's not like it's 2,000 per use or even 5,000 per use. It starts out like at 1 or 2,000 and just continues, goes up from there. Alright, a couple more breads and I'll just pop them again. And then I'll probably... Oh. There's a fighter skill called Meditate. And you're supposed to learn it by falling asleep and then waking back up. And you're supposed to use it to heal. It makes you sleep, and then while you sleep, you heal a lot faster. And I obtained it in my previous play of this. I have not obtained it in this one. He never learns it. Pisses me off. Like, I'll go to sleep, and I'll just keep going to sleep, and he's not learning it. Even with the Loto Shield. Well, I don't have the Loto Shield. Even with the Magic Shield, I haven't learned it yet. And a monster was resurrected. Okay, so Fluff Beast, you should die. You'll find out that this mansion, like, I'm more prepared for this mansion now than I was when in my first episodes 1 through 8. So, I have, oh, yeah, okay, let's just get rid of that. I don't even want the bags of gold. You can actually, if you don't want the gold and have a change pot, you can hold the button, which, for the PlayStation, I don't know, it's the right one. Like, if you look at the crosshair buttons, there's left, up, down, and right for the buttons. It would be, you hold the right button down to run like this. Hold the right button down as you walk. It might be square. It's hard for me to know. I'm not using a PS Pad.